and welcome to episode 57 of the Little Drops of Wonderful podcast. This is my channel where I talk about all things crochet and knitting and crafty related. I do full-length podcasts where I talk about the things I'm working on and my plans and my finished objects and so on. And I also do regular vlogs and vlog series, and I'm doing a vlog series at the moment. I was due to do April vlogs and I've started them early because I'm kind of documenting our life as we go through lockdown here in the UK. I live in Kent in the south of the UK with my husband and our two young daughters who are 14 on Tuesday and 9, so they're both school age and currently learning at home. You can find me on Instagram and Ravelry as Starry Eyes Ali, and I'm also on Ravelry. No, I've just said I'm on Ravelry. I've also got a Ravelry group for this podcast called Little Drops of Wonderful, where you will find competition threads or giveaway threads and other things going on, which I will probably mention throughout this podcast. So if you normally watch my podcast, you will notice I'm in a very different location. I normally film in my kitchen on a Monday, every other Monday. Today's Sunday, oh, and I've just dropped my pen. Today's Sunday, so I'm almost a week late in filming my podcast, and everyone's at home, but everyone's at home every day at the moment. So I'm filming in our bedroom, and for that reason you may well hear wind, because it's a very windy day today, whistling down the fireplace behind me. So if you do, I apologise. It is a working original Victorian fireplace, and it can get quite noisy when it's windy, but I really like the noise. It helps me fall asleep. I'm doing vlogs at the moment, as I said, so that's another thing that's taking up my time and has made it a bit harder to film a full-length podcast, but I still really wanted to do it because I know some of you prefer the podcasts over the vlogs. So here I am today in a slightly strange location, sitting on a kitchen chair in my bedroom, feeling a little weird. Everything's wrong, but I'm going to try and get through it. We're going to talk today about finished objects, some works in progress. I've got some giveaways to talk about, which are all really exciting, and an and finally section where I'm going to talk about other vlogs, some virtual sort of knit and natters, and just a general ramble and updates. You know what to expect by now. I'm going to cross my legs because I've got no table in front of me and it just feels really weird. Right, I've just realised straight away that I've left my first thing that I want to talk about downstairs. So it's already going well, so bear with me, I'll just go and grab it. Okay, so my first, how am I going to do this and I need something in front of me really to put things on. Oh, hang on, I've got a box here, so I'll put my notes on here. Also now I've got a bit of glitter on me, which I can kind of see in my eyes. Right, I have finished my Just Feel Better shawl. This is a lovely, lovely pattern by Kalisha Ryan of the Quirky Monday podcast. It's a really lovely podcast. She's a lovely person to watch. And this shawl was designed as a sort of calming, mindless, easy, relaxing crochet that you could just keep going and just enjoy and not have to worry. So you could just do it in times when you just need to feel better, basically. It's a free pattern, and I used yarn by the Quaint Corner of Craft. It was a yarn cake. It's 100% acrylic. I really, really liked it. It's soft, easy to... I need to get my breath back from running up and down the stairs, and I need to slow down. Right, start again. The yarn is by Quaint Corner of Craft, and it's 100% acrylic, and it's absolutely lovely. I haven't got a bad thing to say about it. I really, really enjoyed it. I really liked the way it did the gradient. It was a gift from my mum. She bought it for me at where did she buy it for me? Festival, I think, last year. And I chose the one that went from the bright red to the black. And I'm really, really pleased with it. There is a border that section which I didn't do because I just didn't think it needed it. And I've worn this pretty much every day since I finished it. I absolutely love this. This is my new go-to shawl. I love it. There's a mirror here so I can see what it looks like. I absolutely love this shawl. I love the colour. I love the way the yarn feels. I love the shape of it. And I'm sorely tempted to just start and make another one straight away with some, just see what yarns I've got in my stash and just start. You could do it with minis. You could do it with one big skein of gradient yarn. You could do it with several skeins of yarn. This, I used the whole cake for this, and I believe it was a 1,000 meters or 1,200 meters, so it was a big old load of yarn, and it's the perfect size. I love it. I love it so much. Anything else to say about that? Nope, just that it's finished and I love it. Did I mention that I love it? Right, I'm going to just throw that randomly on my bedroom floor. Okay, the next finished thing I have, oh, I just feel, this just feels so weird. I just feel like everything's in the wrong place. I feel really, everything's really alien. This is going to be a really, if this is the first time you've watched one of my full podcasts, maybe don't watch this one. Just doesn't feel right. Nothing feels right. And I feel like I don't know what to say. Anyway, I finished my Hello Yellow hat, or mine's orange, so my Hello Orange hat. I am so pleased with this. This is a free pattern. The pattern is by, oof, I will tell you. I kept a little project notebook for this, and I'm going to do the same for all my projects going forward, I think. This was a little project notebook that was a gift from Sherrie of Ollie and Bella. We did a swap at Christmas, and this was in with that swap, and it's just the perfect little notebook. So I thought, oh, I'll just do it as a little mini tracker for when I'm making things. So I've done some little doodles about the yarn and any little notes and who the pattern's by, and then I've just done a manual row counter, which I've crossed off as I've gone along, and it was really nice just to have that in my bag. So it's a free pattern by Heidi Verherla, and I'll link to my own Ravelry page for this project below, so you can go and have a look at it. I'm going to put it on because I can't resist, because it's such a cosy, lovely hat. Except obviously I'm not going to be able to get my fringe trimmed because we're in lockdown here in the UK. Hairdressers are closed. I might have to get on YouTube and learn how to cut my own fringe. That could be interesting. This is exactly what I wanted for this yarn. I bought this yarn at Fibre East. It's Crochet yarn, which is a joint business between Jenny of Owl About Yarn and Zoe of the Pins and Needles podcast. It's Welsh yarn. It's non-superwash Welsh DK, and it's 66% Welsh meal and 33% Blue Face Leicester. And all the colourway names have Welsh. Oh, this glitter that's on my face, really annoying. All the colourway names have Welsh names, and this is Flam, which I believe is flame. And Zoe did tell me, well, it could be fire or it could be blaze, but it's something along those lines. I ran out of yarn and I had to wait until they dyed up the next batch, and they sent me another, I bought another skein, and you can honestly, I'm going to show you close up, hang on, does my hair look? I'm going to show you really, really, really close up so you can see. So I ran out at about here and I striped for the rest of it. So if you can see any difference at all in that yarn, I would be amazed. The colour match between the two dye lots is amazing. I really hope that this is now focusing on me. Right, we'll just have to keep our fingers crossed. Yeah, I was well impressed with it. The yarn is absolutely gorgeous. I'll definitely get some more of this to make other things. It's a very rustic yarn. It's very natural feeling yarn. The colour range they've got is beautiful. And the pom-pom I also got at Fibre East. I bought the card trip yarn at Fibre East, but I can't remember who I bought it from. But I bought it because it was just so mad, and it reminded me of a firework, and it's got the orange bits in. And I thought with this on the orange hat, it would be perfect for fireworks night, because it looks like a firework and it's the perfect autumnal colours. And I absolutely love this. I couldn't recommend it more, the yarn or the pattern, and they're a match made in heaven really. So, and I've got enough left of the second skein that I bought to probably make another hat that's not so chunky and because it's got a really long brim that you fold over. So actually if I made a plainer hat, I reckon I could get away. I haven't weighed this, but I reckon I've got a good 60 grams or so left there. So I'll definitely get another hat out of that. I might have a little look on Ravelry today. Yes, so that's my other finished object. Move all these things. The next thing I finished last night, I actually started and finished last night. It was a really, really quick project. And it's currently blocking, so I bought it on its blocking mat with me because it's only a small thing, so it's easy enough to do. And it's my starfish window decoration. So this is a pattern by I can't remember who, and I would need to look on my phone to check. And I'm filming with my phone, so I can't. It is a paid for pattern. I think it's about £4 or something like that. It's not expensive, and you get the instructions for how to do the little starfish and also how to connect them as you go as well. It's a really lovely little pattern actually. I really, really like it. When you first make them, they just look like a crumpled mess, so they do need a bit of a block, and I'm hoping that will sort them out. So I've done those, and I also sprayed them with a bit of spray starch to kind of help them hold their shape a bit, because I'm going to hang them in the window, which leads me on to something else I wanted to tell you about. In the vlogs that I'm doing at the moment, I was talking about how here in the UK a lot of the kids are hanging rainbow pictures in the windows. We've got a couple in ours to brighten people's days as they walk past and to bring people hope in this really strange and difficult time for the world. So I was thinking, oh, I'd like to add to that. I would like to do something yarny, obviously. So then I mentioned on the vlogs about doing it, and I started a bundle on Ravelry of ideas for rainbow-ish window hangings and decorations that we could make. It's not a long official anything. There won't be any prizes or anything like that. It's just literally for fun whilst we're all stuck social distancing and wanting to do something just to brighten people's days. So I started a thread in Ravelry so we can chat about it. I've started the bundle, and I'll link to both of those below. And then I came up with a hashtag because a couple of people sort of said, is there a hashtag? And I hadn't thought of that. So the hashtag's going to be wonderful window rainbows. No, wonderful rainbow windows. Help if I knew my own blinking hashtags, wouldn't it? Wonderful rainbow windows. That's the hashtag if you're sharing them on Instagram and so on. I have mentioned I have not been on Instagram much. And that is because I work for a museum, which is of course closed at the moment because museums and public places like that are all closed. So I'm working from home, but I do all the social media for the museum. So I'm constantly logged in as the museum on Facebook and Instagram and Twitter and all that. So I tend to be on as the museum rather than myself, and I have to remember to log out and log in as me. So that, anyway, that's a very long-winded way of explaining why I've not been on Instagram that much. Oh, I need to have a sip of Diet Coke. The clocks went back last night as well, so we're now in British summertime. No, they didn't. They went forward. So this is one of the days in the year where we spend all day confused about what time it is. So at the moment, the official time is 1:30, but my body clock thinks it's 12:30, and it feels like it should be 12:30. And it just makes you feel confused for about 24 hours, and then it's like nothing ever happened. But it does mean we'll have lighter evenings, which I guess on the whole for people is positive. It'll make people feel a lot better. I am a bit the opposite. I struggle with the lighter evenings. I survive much better with when the clocks go back in the autumn, because I prefer autumn and winter over spring and summer. But this year, I think I can't wait for summer. As much as I hate it, we need the warm weather to kill off this blinking virus, don't we? We need it to warm up so that people have a better chance and the world has a better chance. So yay for spring and summer. Right, I think I've yabbered on plenty enough about all that for now. Let's move on to works in progress. So my As If tee. This is a lovely, lovely pattern which I've been dying to make and talking about making and discussing gauge and everything forever. This is the pattern. It's called the As If tee. It's inspired by one of the outfits worn by Cher in Clueless. And it's by Shay Johnson of Knit and Crochet. and that is Shay there wearing the As If tee. You've probably heard of it, it's quite a famous pattern now. And I'm not very good at getting gauge on garments, so I didn't have 3mm needles, so I'm now doing an in the round gauge swatch using 3mm DPNs. I'm going to have to order some 3mm needles, unless these ones were 3mm that I was using for my hat. Hang on a minute. Oh, they are 3. Ah, right, okay, that's good. So I do have 3mm needles to do my swatch, so I will pop these in here and swap those over, because I've been having horrible problems with gauge. So first of all, I did a swatch. I did several swatches and worked out that I needed, I think I worked out that I needed 4.5mm needles, and the pattern itself calls for 4mm needles. Then I knit a Mobius and had to take it off the needles to frog it. But whilst I took it off, I thought, well, I'll just try on what I'd done to see how it was looking width-wise. And it was absolutely massive. It was massive. So I went back to the drawing board and I did another gauge swatch, and then I knit another few inches. Then I put it onto waste yarn and tried that on, and it was still massive. So clearly, when it comes to gauge, I'm useless. So I'm now doing another gauge swatch, and I've gone right down to 3mm needles this time. So I'm right back to the beginning, basically. I thought I was off and away with it, but actually I'm still on the trying to get gauge stage, which is beginning to drive me slightly bonkers. So I'm kind of avoiding it at the moment just because it's so frustrating. But now that I've worked out I've got my needles, I might actually try to finish that gauge swatch today, because 4mm and 3.5mm were giving me a gauge that was way too big. So I went down to 2.75, and that gave me a gauge that was ridiculously small. So I clearly need somewhere above 2.75mm but under 3.5. So really that leaves 3 and 3.25. So let's see where we get with 3. Keep your fingers crossed for me, people. It's really annoying. It's all living in my Caroline Love to Sew bag that my husband bought me a couple of years ago. Love this bag because it's got this little velvety bit at the bottom, so it's very strokeable and it's very pretty. Okay, let's turn the page of my notes. Okay, dark ugly blankets. So I talked in the last couple of podcasts about ugly blankets. I've got a couple of ugly blankets on the go, and they are, I should start Ravelry pages for them really to explain, shouldn't I? I might try and do that over the next couple of days. They are scrappy blankets. They are granny squares basically that I just add to with scraps of yarn, and I don't mean minis or things like that. I mean the absolute scraps of yarn that are maybe a metre or two that can't be used in swaps or in mini projects or anything like that. But really it's a fair amount of yarn. You don't just want to chuck it away. So I've got one acrylic one or sort of DK weight one that's I keep by my bed, which I can just do a little bit on when I'm really, really tired. I'm not going to show you that one now. I've got one not so ugly blanket, which is made with all my fingering weight scraps. So this is that in progress. Look at all those ends. I love weaving in ends. I find that a really relaxing thing to do. So that's my not so ugly blanket, which is living in my lobster bag by a lovely viewer of this podcast called Suzanne, who is inside number 23. She's given me a few bags as prizes and as gifts for me as well, and I'm so grateful. And this is my absolute favourite one because it's got lobsters on. And then I started another one as well. So I was noticing as I was picking up my fingering weight yarn scraps to put into my not so ugly blanket. So many words to use to describe this project, that I had some colours that didn't really fit. And as much as it's supposed to be not worrying about the colours, I'm really liking how it's actually looking. And I didn't want to put the really dark greys and oranges and murky greens and things into that and sort of take away from the lighter, more sort of feminine colours. So I thought, right, I'll start another one, and it can be my darker ugly blanket. So this tends to be leftovers from projects I've made for my husband. So I've got, but also I've got a dark, sparkly one here, which I think was a little French Meadow mini club one. And then this really bright one here, I made a pair of socks for Dan. That was in the Lucifer colourway by... Now, it was a collaboration, this was quite a while ago, with Third Vault Yarns and Rhapsody Yarns. And they did a collaboration. I can't remember. I think that's when I bought, so I bought Mazikeen, which I think I spoke about in the last episode, which is a beautiful colourway by Third Vault Yarns. And I also bought Lucifer, and they're both characters from the Netflix series Lucifer. And me and my husband were really into watching it at that time. We've still got to catch up with the more later series. So I bought the Mazikeen and the Lucifer. And Lucifer was dyed by Rhapsody Yarns, I think. I may be talking absolute nonsense, but anyway, my husband, a pair of socks, he wears them all the time. I've also got some darker colours that I've used in past projects, and some orange that I dyed, and then I've got this dark grey Drops Flora, and I thought I'd just make a dark blanket, and when it's finished, it could be for Dan, a darker one. So I haven't got so many of these types of colours, but I'm really pleased that I decided to do that and do it as its own thing. Dan said it reminded him, what did he say? He said it looked like a black hole at the moment. It's true, it looks like it's in space, doesn't it? So yeah, that's my dark ugly blanket. Right, next work in progress is my Waru shawl ×2. I've already made a Waru shawl, and I think I wore it pretty much all through the middle part of the winter. Absolutely loved that pattern. I loved making it, I loved the finished result, and I loved the way it fits. So I thought, I'm going to make another one. I liked it that much. This is what it looks like. It's a pattern by Deanne Ramsey, who is Adday Designs. She's an Australian designer. And she did, so the Kimber shawl by Amber O'Brien was the knit version of this, and in collaboration with her, Deanne did the crochet version. It's a bit battered, my copy, but that's what it looks like. And I'll put a picture up on the screen as well of what my original one looks like. And I will show you how I'm getting on. This bag, by the way, let me see if I've got the little thing to show you, is by a lovely viewer of this podcast called Lynn. She donated one bag for me and one as a giveaway last year. I don't think she sells them, but it's Handmade with Love by Lynn. Hopefully you can see that. I've no idea what you can see. Yeah, it's absolutely gorgeous with beautiful bright yellow with cactuses, and then it's got this lovely flower fabric on the inside. So I'm using that because it's lovely and cheerful. And also it's drawstring, so when you put it like this, and then it's got these handles so you can still carry it about. I really like that idea. Might try and incorporate that next time I make a dodgy bag. So I've started with a blue. This is the top part. I've just taken out, there's a section at the top where you need to use stitch markers. So I've done that bit. I'm about to move on to the next section. Oh, I better pull out a loop so that I don't lose the thing. And this is how much I've done. And this is with this blue here, which is by Mrs. S Creations. Oh yeah, Seascape. The colourway is Seascape. There we go. That's a lovely gift from Jilly at Mrs. S Creations. Have I got anything else? Oh look! I just, on her card that came with it when she sent it to me ages ago, there's a rainbow. Oh, I'm going to have to get that and put that on my next little rainbow project. Oh, brilliant. How apt. I'm now dropping everything because I don't have a table. I'm having to put everything on my lap. How can I be expected to work under these circumstances? Okay, I've got two other colours. It is a 4-colour shawl, but I haven't decided on the final colour yet, the bit that will go along the bottom. I figured I'll decide on that when I get there. These are the other 2 colours that are going to go in. And you stripe them, you kind of fade them into each other. So I'm not sure whether I'm going to go blue into yellow or blue into the creamy. I'd probably go blue into the creamy colour actually. I think that would work, going down to the yellow. And then I can pick up either a yellow or a grey or a green or an orange from this one here. So the other two yarns, is anyone else getting fed up with the balancing act that's going on? Oh my goodness. Right, also in here I've got a little pomander, which smells of lemon because I put lemon essential oil on the little pad that's inside, and that was a gift from my friend Sarah, who is lovely Sarah1Daisy on Instagram. Okay, the other two yarns, here's one tag. I need to put a little pouch in here to keep all my tags and stuff together. Right, found it. Oh my goodness me. And now the light has just changed. I might have to go and open the blind a bit in case it's too dark. Okay, so the creamy colour here with all the flecks in it, that is Bumblebee Acres Bumblebee Acres Fibre Farm. It was a gift from my friend Melissa, who is the dyer behind Atomic Ranch yarns, and this particular colour is Dragonfly in Amber, which is an Outlander inspired colour. It's American Corridor and nylon. It's a really, really pretty colour. I'm really glad to find a use for this lovely skein. All three of these sort of singular lovely skeins, I'm so pleased to be using them all together in one lovely project. And this one I bought not last year but the year before. It was one it was by Sam of Betsy Makes. Sam has a lovely podcast here on YouTube. Definitely go and check her out. She's Betsy Makes. And this colour is Cha Cha Charming. She did a kind of official Strictly colourway a couple of years ago. And it was Limoncello that she did, and I made my Strictly socks with it in 2018. But she also did Cha Cha Charming, and I couldn't not have it, so I had to buy it, didn't I? And it is 100 grams. Oh, sorry, that's not what you need to know. It's superwash merino nylon with gold stellina in it. So gorgeous. Sam is a very, very talented dyer. Yeah, so those are my colours for my Warushal take 2. What else am I going to talk about? Are you bored of me yet? I'm bored of myself. Oh yes, okay, I'm about to make it exciting and I'm going to open the blind. Oh my God, absolutely pouring with rain all of a sudden. Where I'm sitting, I'll open the blind and then I'll tell you. So I just recorded for 15 minutes and realised I hadn't pressed start, and now the sun is out. That's how long I was talking for. You can see a big black cloud though. What I was going to say is where I'm sitting in my bedroom, I have a view. So our house is at the top of a hill, and it's also quite high because it's Victorian, very high ceilings. But we're at the top of a hill, and in front of our house is basically the village social club. And beyond that is fields, and beyond that is a huge sort of forest woodland area, which is kind of on top of the next hill along. So I've got a really gorgeous view, and I can see the weather as it comes towards us. So at the moment, I can see a huge black cloud over the hill that's coming this way. So it is going to get dark again. It is going to start raining again. But it makes me think, when we decorate this bedroom, which we were going to be doing this month, but that's not going to be happening because we can't go shopping for anything. I'd like to get a chair so I can sit here and admire the view. I should really come up here and look at that more often. But not right now because I'm talking to you. I'm just going to check it's definitely still recording. Yes, it is. Okay, so what I spent the next 10 minutes telling you about was my planned project. So now I have the chance to do it again without so much rambling, so that's good. I spoke in the last podcast about the Molly Hue hat, which is patterned by Shin, who is Shiny Superhero on Instagram and Ravelry. She's in Denmark and she does the most amazing colourful, her use of colour is so bold and brave and interesting. I'm really, really attracted to the things that she does. I find her designs really interesting. I've got a couple of them saved in my Ravelry, but I'm not quite brave enough to attempt them just yet. But I saw this hat on her Instagram and I had to go and get it immediately, and I did speak about it last time. I'll put a picture up on the screen because my copy is just black and white. Yeah, so it's been really playing on my mind, and one of the things about being in lockdown is that you want to start casting things on, and it's not that I've got any more time, it's just that I guess because we're at home more and you're surrounded by things like the yarn that you have at home and the ideas that you have and the patterns that are lying around, and you just start to want to do them. Yeah, we do have more time in the evenings because obviously there's no clubs. We do have more time at the weekends, but the weekdays I would say just if not more busy, because I'm working from home but I have to work every day now because I can't do 2 full days. I have to spread my hours across the week in order to fit it in with like looking after the girls, looking after the house, homeschooling and all the other stuff that I would normally do on the days that I'm on my own. So it's not that we have more time, but we do have more time in our downtime, if that makes sense. It doesn't make sense, but I'm sure you get what I mean. So I'm just itching to start casting things on, and because I finished my Hello Yellow or Hello Orange hat, I think I'm going to get started on this. It is colour work and I am slightly terrified, but it might distract me from doing gauge samples for the as if tea. And then I was in my bedroom clearing up, getting ready to do this podcast, and I saw I've got a box of yarn that I got over Christmas, and one of the skeins of yarn in there is this one. Now this was a gift from Annette. She did me the most amazing surprise advent parcel with all different things in there, including some skeins of yarn. And Annette's from Denmark too, like Shin, who's the designer. And I thought, oh, that seems quite fitting. And I sort of saw the yarn poking through the top of the box, and I thought, oh, do you know what? I think that's the yarn to use. It's by Knitology. It's Knitology Cozy Sock. Ooh. And it is their Citrus Squeeze colourway. It's never has a yarn matched a colourway name so well. You've got the orange, yellow and pink there, all blending into each other. It's so pretty. And it's actually superwash merino wool, nylon and cashmere. And then I've got some cream yarn. Now these aren't the same yarns, these are different, but I think I've got enough in this one ball here, and if not, I do have this one, and they're very, very similar, and I could always just stripe them, and I don't think you'd notice. So I'm going to use this one, but if I do run out, I have got this, and I think I'm just going to go for it and see what happens. I'm just really excited. I think that's going to create such a pretty hat with the pattern, with Shin's pattern, that I think I'm going to give it a go. It's all charts. So yeah, I really am taking the plunge here. So I'm going to have a little root around in a minute and get myself a nice project bag out, because I've got plenty. And that's part of the fun, isn't it? Choosing your project bag, getting everything together, and I'll skein up the yarn later. And yeah, maybe get started. I want to do some rainbow balls today. That's my next project for the window. I'm going to do the Attic 24 little balls and make some little, make a little garland to go maybe in the upstairs window. Okay, hopefully that recorded this time, and I can now move on to giveaways. Okay, I need the notebook back for this. It feels so weird when I sit on my chair with nothing in front of me and my notebook on my blanket, on my lap. Okay, my first giveaway is from Josie at Beaches and Birdsong. She contacted me ages ago. It took me a long time to get back in touch with her to offer up some yarn for a giveaway. Now it arrived on Saturday, so if you've been watching my vlogs, you'll have already seen this. And you'll get to see it again. She sent the most lovely little note, and it did really, really make me laugh because she's written on the envelope, she stuck it down with some beautiful washi tape, and it says, "Don't worry, I didn't lick the envelope." And she put in some lovely little bookmarks for the girls to colour in, and they've already started on those. I've got a nice Dumbo bookmark. Have I brought it upstairs? No, I haven't. It's still downstairs, which Phoebe did for me. It arrived in this really cool packaging. It's in a brown box, which is obviously reusable and recyclable. It's got recycled parcel tape, and then the yarn is wrapped. I'm going to keep it in this tissue paper to send to the winner, in this recycled and recyclable paper, which is printed with environmentally friendly ink. Let me see if I can find the bit where it says it. Yeah, so it says printed This paper is made from 100% recycled paper printed with environmentally friendly water-based ink in a 135-year-old Lancashire mill powered by water. And that's what it came wrapped in. I thought that was really, really a lovely touch. This is part of her, is it favourite birds? So she did a yarn club. It's a set of my bird lovers sock club for February. So that's what we've got here. It is gold crest. The yarn is just gorgeous. It represents the gold crest bird. Look at that yellow. It's so pretty, and there's this gorgeous little teeny tiny, I'm going to have to stand up to check this is focusing. Teeny tiny little bird stitch marker. Oh, I do hope I've not had problems with focusing. And included is a little piece of information about the gold crest bird, which Phoebe really enjoyed reading. She thought that was absolutely fascinating. The yarn is her platinum 4-ply, which is a 75-25 superwash merino nylon. You get 425 metres in 100 grams, and there's her label. Really hope that's focusing. I'm worried now. For some reason my phone is not auto-focusing, so you may have got blurry shots of a lot of the things I've shown you, which means I'm going to have to be filming stuff to overlay. Never mind. Funny times. So this is a giveaway from Josie. Now obviously this is going to be slightly awkward. Whoever wins it is going to have to wait a little while before I can post it, because my 2 local post offices are closed. And for that same reason I have closed my Etsy shop, because I cannot post anything at the moment. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to open a thread on Ravelry for the Beaches and Birdsong yarn giveaway. And I'll keep that thread open for a while, I guess. I could draw a winner and you'll just have to wait. So I'll keep it open until just before the next podcast, which will be in another 2 to 3 weeks. And then I'll draw a winner, and whoever wins it may just have to wait until the post office is open again before I can post it. Okay. So I'll open a thread and I will link that below. I've also got 2 other giveaways, one of which I can't talk about just yet, but the lovely ladies at Wool is the Answer, Marie and Dominique, they contacted me to offer some pattern prizes, which is great, because obviously pattern prizes you don't need to go near anyone to get, or you don't need to go to a post office, and you can maintain your social distancing. And they wanted to do that just to cheer up people at this really, really difficult time. It's a really generous offer of them. But I emailed them this morning and I haven't checked my emails since. So stay tuned to the vlogs for news of that, and I will update you in the vlogs and do the giveaway via there. So please do watch the vlogs. There's lots of things going on in those, and things happening, and giveaways do pop up, and just, yeah, come along. We're having a nice time all together. We're staying together in our isolation. And the other thing I've got is I've got 8 copies from Kim Nelson, who is IvyMaeOriginals. She sent me 8 copies of her Elephant Walk border pattern. It's a crochet edging pattern, and she's given me 8 copies to celebrate the 8,000 subscribers milestone that I reached a little while ago, which is really, really lovely. So what I'm going to do is do 4 to give away here and 4 to give away on the vlogs. So I will mention it on the vlogs, just in case there's people that watch the podcasts but don't watch the vlogs, and vice versa. But I'll do the same thread on Ravelry, so go along to there for the Elephant Walk border giveaway. And it's a crochet border for anything, like a blanket or anything that looks like little elephants walking along. It's really, really, really sweet. So that's 3 threads that will be in my Ravelry group, with, which you can go along, and there'll be prompts in there for you to respond to. And then in the next podcast in 2 to 3 weeks time, I'll start to draw winners. I hope that all makes sense. But all the information will be on those threads in my Ravelry group, so definitely hop along to those. It's really easy to do. Just go down underneath in the description box and click the link and it will zoom you off to Ravelry to exactly where you need to be. Okay, moving on to incoming. Now, I don't have any physical incoming things to share with you, but I do have some things that have sort of come to my attention, or some patterns that people have given me. 2 people sent me different patterns by the exact same designer with the same theme. It was so funny, and I absolutely love them. So I'm going to put some pictures up on the screen as I talk. The first one was a gift from Valeria, sorry if I'm saying your name wrong, and she sent me the Lobster on the Rocks hat, and that is a pattern by Donna Ritchie, who is Mrs. Knitter Designs. It's absolutely brilliant. And then Sam sent me the Lobster Boy hat from the same designer. So I've got 2 colour work lobster hat patterns. Thank you so much, ladies. That was such a lovely surprise, and it really made me smile that you both sent me lobster related patterns from the same designer, but you'd both picked different ones. So when I first saw the emails come in, I thought, oh no, 2 people have sent me the same pattern, and I didn't know what to say. And then I realised you hadn't. You just sent me completely different patterns by the same designer with the same theme. I just thought that was really, really wonderful. So thank you so much. I've messaged you both on Ravelry, but I just wanted to say a proper thank you here as well. It's really raining again now. Absolutely. Do you know what? It's hailstoning, I think. Really bucketing down. Dan cut the grass this morning. He did that just in time. Yeah, that's hailstones. Right, I'm going to risk it and film the hailstones, even though it's going to take me forever to set up the camera again. Right, I just went out the back and filmed the hailstones, and the kids were out there trying to catch them, but it's so windy. Can't believe that. It's been so spring-like, and now it's hailstony. We don't need that. We need it to warm up. Oh my goodness. Anyway, moving on. What was I saying? I was talking about hat patterns. Okay. I was talking about hat patterns, so thank you so much Valeria and Sam, and also thank you to Jill, Arminty and Petra, who all let me know about those same hat patterns as well. So I think it is a sign that I'm going to make my Molly Hugh hat, cut my teeth properly on my colour work, and then make some lobster hats. 3 different people actually also tagged me in several patterns on Instagram, or sent them to me via Instagram messages. Unfortunately, I did not write them down because I remembered this in a bit of a hurry when I was doing my notes. So thank you to those people that did that. But they all sent me links to patterns by the exact same designer, and every pattern I looked at was like, oh my goodness, I love that. So clearly people know my own taste better than I do, because I'd not heard of this designer, and she is amazing. Her name is Tony. She's at TL Crafts. TL Yarn Crafts on Instagram and Ravelry. I'm going to put a link to her underneath this video because her patterns are amazing, and I'm just going to check this is filming. Sorry, I'm so paranoid that it keeps turning off. Yeah, so she's TL Yarn Crafts. She does crochet patterns, knit patterns, Tunisian crochet patterns. There are hats, baskets, accessories, blankets, garments, cushions, the lot. DK, fingering weight, everything. My particular favourites are the Sedona sweater, which is one of the patterns that I was tagged in. And when I was looking through all her patterns this morning, like with a cup of tea, sort of drooling as I scrolled through, the garden party shawl, which is another crochet pattern, is just beautiful. So I'm going to link to her below because even though I don't have any of her patterns with me to show you, I think you should definitely go and have a browse through. You will not be disappointed. She is clearly a very talented crochet designer, but also, like I say, she does Tunisian and she does knit as well. So she's definitely worth checking out. And thank you to all the people who alerted me to those patterns, because I hadn't heard of her. And now I've discovered a new favourite. So thank you for that. Okay, and finally, this is the bit where I just talk about whatever I want, which basically is what I've done this entire podcast, in between gabbling on about hailstones and whether or not you can see me or I'm in focus or the tripod or whatever. But anyway, I'm finally where I talk about anything I want. And today I just wanted to mention, do you know what? Did I say at the beginning I was going to talk about and finally? I don't know. This podcast is a disaster. It's going to take me forever to edit it. Oh God, I've still got to edit it. Oh well, I'll try and get that done tonight. I wanted to let you know about other vlogs. Now, I don't know about all the other vlogs, but I just scribbled down some over the last few days, just to let you know about other people who are vlogging regularly during this time when a lot of you are at home, or most of us are at home, and maybe you've got a bit more time and you're looking for vlogs to watch and you want to see how people in other parts of the world are dealing with it. So, people I want to mention, Zoe, who is the Pins and Needles podcast, she is doing vlogs every day. She has a yarn business and she also runs a gym with her husband, and they've had to close that gym due to the coronavirus. So she's doing daily vlogs in a similar way that I am, but she's also doing vlogs or videos with her husband on their business channel, which are home workout videos. So that's definitely worth checking out. I've been doing the Joe Wicks PE every day with the girls, and my goodness, that's keeping us fit. So I'm kind of dreading it being Monday tomorrow, having to do it again, because it is hard work. And I've been linking to that every day under my vlogs. So if you want to find a link to that, just look underneath any of my vlogs and you can take part. It's live every weekday, 9 till 9:30 on YouTube, and it's brilliant. It really gets the kids moving, we laugh, we do it all together. It's only half an hour and we just wakes us up and gets us ready for the day. Other people doing them. Gayna, who is Tales from Cookie Land, she's Cookie Land? That would be good, wouldn't it? Cuckoo Land, Tales from Cookie Land. She's doing regular vlogs. She's not doing daily vlogs, but she is doing regular vlogs at the moment, so she's definitely worth checking out. And she's my friend as well, so you've got to go and watch her. And other people who are my friends that you've got to go and watch. Sherrie, who is Ollie and Bella, she's not doing vlogs at the moment, but she's got tons of vlogs that you can watch that are really, really recent, really, really good. And Rachael, who is SewRayMe, she's doing daily vlogs at the moment. So Gayna, Sherrie, Rachael and Zoe. Those are my first four. Knitting expat, Mina, she's doing everyday vlogs. Catherine, who is Crafting Treats, who mentioned me. I was like, someone told me, oh, Catherine at Crafting Treats mentioned you. And I was like, what? So I'll have to go over and watch that. But yeah, thanks, Catherine, if you're watching. Thanks for mentioning me. So Catherine's doing everyday vlogs as well. Sophie, who is a spring snowflake here on YouTube, she's doing daily vlogs as well. I'm not sure how long for, but she's also running virtual knit nights. So if you keep an eye on her Instagram, she's Sophie Swan on Instagram, and also on her podcast, she's a spring snowflake, and details of all the codes to access the knit nights, or they're not necessarily knit nights, they're knit sessions at different times and days, on her Ravelry group. So definitely go and check that out. Today's Sunday the 29th, and there's one tonight at 8 o'clock, so I'm actually going to try and join that. I get a bit nervous joining virtual knit nights because I always feel like really self-conscious and just shy, but I'm going to try and be brave and join that. They're all organised via Zoom. You don't need an app, you just need a computer and the code to get in. So I might give that a go tonight. But by the time you watch this, that'll all be over. But she's got more throughout the week, so you just got to keep an eye on her Instagram and she'll let you know when they're organised. Who else? Lilli, my other friend, my long-term online friend Lilli in Norway. She was Nordic Stitches, she is now Lilli of Norway. It's her new channel. It's really beautiful. She talks a lot about living in a minimalist way, and it's very calm, and definitely got to go and check Lilli out. And she is doing daily vlogs every day. March, April, as far as the eye can see, she is doing vlogs. So definitely go and say hello to Lilli from me. Tell her I sent you. Eva, gorgeous Eva, who is Coco and Flora, is doing daily vlogs. I was so happy to see this, and I haven't watched a single one on purpose because I am going to have a night this week where I'm going to go to bed at like 8:30 with my iPad, and all I'm going to do is watch Eva's vlogs in one go, like a treat. I'm going to have a hot milk, chocolate biscuit and Eva on the iPad. So she is Coco and Flora. That's everyone I've written down. I will have missed people. just because I haven't had time to watch. I'm not watching anything really at the moment because I'm just so busy trying to adjust to this new normal. How are you all doing? Are you homeschooling? Are you, well, I know a lot of you are nurses, doctors, emergency workers, delivery drivers. I know you're all doing all these important jobs that keep us going. My friend actually, who lives just around the corner, is an ICU nurse, and she's off today, and she rang on the doorbell and then ran across the road. So I stood in my driveway and she stood in the old lady opposite's driveway, and we shouted at each other across the road and had a chat, which was quite nice. But she's really exhausted. They're really busy at the local hospital. Yeah, it's overwhelming really. I try not to think about the bigger picture too much. But I hope wherever you are, you're doing well. I hope you're staying at home. I hope you're staying safe. I hope you're staying well. I hope you've got lots of knitting and crochet and other such things to keep you occupied. And if you are homeschooling and home working at the same time, you have my sympathies, and I send you elbow bumps from a 2-metre distance. Yeah, so I will be back in a couple of weeks' time with the podcast proper. In the meantime, please do join me on the vlogs. I post them every single day. I try to keep them interesting, I try to keep them realistic, and I try to keep them fun as well. I just try to do what we're doing every day really. Just try to record what we're up to, show you what our life is like during this funny old time. And it really helps me to do them. I love making videos. It really is a hobby of mine that I really love. I love learning about it. I love making them and editing, and I really love the connection it gives me with people all over the world. So thank you if you're watching those and commenting. I appreciate it more than I know. Blah blah. I appreciate it more than I can put into words, as demonstrated by not being able to speak. And thank you to everyone that sent me such lovely messages, emails and direct messages and all that. I'm sorry if I'm taking a little while to reply to them. I'm just a little bit snowed under at the moment, but I am replying to them, and I do appreciate them so much. So please do keep them coming. And now that I've finished my Oscar acceptance speech, I'm gonna shut up. It stopped hailstoning and the sun's out now. This is just bananas. I'm gonna shut up and I'm gonna go and start editing this beast of a podcast down. And I will see you in a few weeks. Actually, I won't. I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.